April 2026, the Strait of Hormuz. It's a 21-mile-wide choke point where 20% of the world's oil tries to squeeze through a needle's eye every single day. Usually, it's a tense game of maritime chicken. But recently, things went from unprofessional maneuvers to a full-blown kinetic exchange. Tehran decided to test the 48-hour ultimatum issued by Washington. They thought their asymmetric swarm could paralyze a super-carrier strike group. They thought the USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72, would back down when faced with 1,000 stings. It didn't. In fact, it backfired so hard that the IRGC Navy is currently looking for their flagship with a magnifying glass and a snorkel. Welcome to Sky-Sea Defense. Today, we're breaking down the hardware, the hubris, and the high seas disaster that was Operation Epic Fury. To understand why this backfired, we have to look at what Iran actually brought to the party. They don't try to outbuild the US Navy in destroyers. That's like trying to outburger McDonald's. Instead, they use what's called mosaic defense. It's decentralized, messy, and designed to overwhelm sensors. These aren't your grandpa's fishing boats. Based on a British racing boat hull, these things are fast, loud, and carry multiple rocket launchers. They are the Hornets of the Gulf. A slightly heavier hitter equipped with Nasser-1 anti-ship missiles. They hide in sea caves and wait for a signal. Shahed 136 and 139 kamikaze drones. You've seen them in Ukraine, but in the Gulf, they fly in swarms of 50 or more. Cheap, effective, and as annoying as a mosquito in a dark bedroom, if that mosquito carried 40 kilograms of explosives. The C-802 Nor missiles, a reverse-engineered Chinese design. These are sea skimmers. They fly so low they practically give the waves a haircut, making them hard for traditional radar to spot until they're right on top of you. Iran's logic was simple: throw enough rocks at a window, and eventually, one will break it. Except this window was made of reinforced, high-explosive-grade American steel. When the swarm hit, the USS Spruance DDG-111 and the USS Michael Murphy DDG-112 were the ones standing in the gap. This is where the math started to go very wrong for Tehran. The SM-3 Block I, this is the big brother. It's designed to hit ballistic missiles, like the Iranian Shahab-3, while they are still in space. It's essentially hitting a bullet with a faster bullet. SM-6 the multi-tool, this is the Swiss Army knife of missiles. It can hit planes, cruise missiles, or even other ships. It has its own active seeker, meaning it doesn't need the ship to paint the target the whole time. The Phalanx CIWS. When the drones got within 2 miles, our 2D2 with a bad attitude took over. The 20mm Vulcan cannon fires 4,500 rounds per minute. It's less of a gun and more of a wall of lead that turns millions of dollars in Iranian drones into expensive confetti. While the IRGC was busy sending speedboats, the US was playing 4D chess. The USS Frankie Peterson Jr. DDG-121 sat back, quietly tracking every single launch using its ANSBY-6B1 radar. The Iranians were shouting. The Americans were using a laser pointer. This is the moment the backfire became literal. The Iris Dina, a Moj-class frigate, was Iran's pride and joy. It represented their ability to project power beyond the Gulf. During the height of the tension, a U.S. Virginia-class submarine, we won't name it because the Silent Service likes their privacy, put a Mark 48 ADCAP torpedo right into the Dina's engine room. Why it backfired? Iran assumed that because the Dina was in international waters, it was safe from escalation. But the US message was clear: if you mess with the Strait of Hormuz, your assets anywhere in the world are on the menu. Iran lost a flagship. The US lost a torpedo. That's a trade no general wants to make. It wasn't all one-sided. An F-15E Strike Eagle was forced to punch out over Iranian territory during a SCAD mission suppression of enemy air defenses. For a moment, it looked like a hostage crisis was brewing. But this is 2026. While Iranian ground forces were hunting for the pilots in the mountains, the US launched a combat search and rescue (CSAR) operation that looked like a sci-fi movie. RQ-180 stealth drones. These white bats provided high-altitude overwatch that the Iranian S-300 batteries couldn't even see. MH-60S Seahawk, In and out before the IRGC even got their trucks started. Imagine being an Iranian commander, thinking you've caught a prize pilot, only to find a half-eaten protein bar and a note that says, "Better luck next time." That's a bad day at the office. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Why was this destined to fail? U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet, backed by 11 supercarriers, including the USS Abraham Lincoln, and hundreds of F-35C Lightning II and F-A-18EF Super Hornets. Iranian Air Force, still flying F-14 Tomcats from the 70s. Look, we all love Top Gun, but trying to fight an F-35 with a 50-year-old Tomcat is like bringing a musket to a sniper fight. The US spent more on the NSLQ-32 VE-7 electronic warfare suite than Iran spent on their entire coastal defense budget for the year. You can't win a war when your opponent can literally turn off your missiles with a keyboard. In the end, Iran's challenge didn't break the US Navy. It just reminded the world why it exists. The thousand stings of the Iranian swarm were met with a Kevlar suit and a very large fly swatter. This has been Sky Sea Defense. If you want more deep dives into the machinery that keeps the seas open, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Fly high, sail deep. See you in the next one.